So, it's the end of June. So, what?
We read!
We read this month.
Yeah, we did. Well, you did.
We both did.
Yeah, it was just a bit of a slow month for me as all people of the internet.
So we're just gonna tell you what we read this month and a very, very short review of what we thought of them.
This could be embarrassing.
Of course it's gonna be embarrassing, it's us. Okay, so I read and completed the Infernal Devices trilogy by Cassandra Clare, and she also writes the Mortal Instruments series, to which the Infernal Devices series is a sort of prequel, and it kind of follows the same sort of, it's the same sort of world as the Mortal Instruments series if you have read those. I enjoyed this series. It was a bit different than what I normally read. And then I got to the end and I don't know. I was a bit... I wasn't disappointed with the ending, but I felt like she just wanted to please everyone, and I don't really feel that works all the time.
Okay. I read The Woman in Black this month, and I've actually already done a video on it, which Alice will post up probably after this one, so I don't really want to talk about it too much, but I did quite enjoy this book and I found it quite scary, which was good because it's a scary book.
I also read Where Things Come Back by John Corey Whaley, and this was a book that I had on my to-read list for a very long time, not just because the cover is so pretty, but yeah, I'd heard a lot of good things about this book and I really, really enjoyed it. I actually read it on a lot of plane journeys, so it went very quickly for me. So you're following Colin Witter, who is spending the summer, it's his summer before his senior year of high school, and yeah, his brother goes missing, and it's all about how his life changes after that happens, and there's like a subplot that goes along with it, and yeah, so I enjoyed this, and look out for a full review of this book in the next couple of weeks, I think.
So I read If You Could See Me Now by Cecilia Ahern, and it is perhaps the biggest copy of a book I have ever owned in my life. It's like proper skull-sized. Alice bought me it, sorry, and I actually put off reading it for ages because I didn't want to carry this massive book around with me when I was going on planes and trains and stuff. But I read it this month and it was very cute. I don't know, my book choices this month beg to differ, but I don't normally read a lot of really sweet, happy, glowy books, and this was very sweet, happy and glowy. It centres on Elizabeth Egan, who is an interior designer, and she has an adopted nephew, but she doesn't really want him, and she just feels very trapped in her environment. And then suddenly her nephew's imaginary friend, Ivan, comes alive for her, and Ivan teaches her how to have fun again and how to hope. And you find yourself really wanting Ivan and Elizabeth to get together, which doesn't even make sense because Ivan's technically not real. It was quite nice in the end as well, like it was a very hopeful book.
The last book, well, it's kind of like a short story I suppose, is The Library of Unrequited Love by Sophie Devry, and she's a French author, and I was kind of attracted to this book just because it's about books. I sort of struggled with this book, to be honest. I felt like she made quite a lot of sweeping statements, even though they were her own opinions. But yeah, it was kind of cute. So yeah, it was only 90 pages or something. So if you're looking for something, if you're interested in books and you're interested in libraries and you want something kind of short to read, I would recommend this.
I finished this morning The Hounds of the Baskerville by Arthur Conan Doyle, one of the Sherlock books. And yeah, I quite enjoyed it. I know Alice has read it already and it wasn't her favourite, and I don't know if it was my favourite, but I actually quite liked it in the end. There's something about Sherlock, he's a bit long-winded, I suppose he is in like most adaptations and stuff as well, and sometimes that's quite hard to deal with. But this one was quite good because Sherlock wasn't in it a lot of the time, and it meant that when it came to the end they weren't just repeating facts as sometimes happens in the other books, but Sherlock was like, well actually I was doing this while you were off with the Hound, and it was quite nice to see how it all worked in. So if you were going to read one, I would actually recommend The Hound of Baskervilles.
Today is the 30th of June, the last day of June. I'm still kind of hopeful that I'll get some of this reading done and can maybe complete these books. This is a reread for me. It's The Great Gatsby by F. Scott Fitzgerald. Yeah, I've read this before. I read this, I think, late last year, and really, really enjoyed this book. I went to see the movie. It really impressed me by the fact that it did stay true to the book, and it did stay true to the words of F. Scott Fitzgerald. And because of that, it made me really want to read it again. The other thing that I am also currently reading is a more contemporary book. It is I Am the Messenger by Marcus Zusak. The Book Thief is one of my favourite books. I was really interested to see what he did with this one. And it's really, really good. I'm really enjoying it so far, and I'm maybe 2/3 of the way through, and I've got a bit of time today, so I'm hoping to finish it.
Still, because we're still on this month just, I'm reading 2 books. I'm reading Ender's Game, which I bought at the beginning of this month, and I found out maybe when I was like 3 pages into it that this wasn't actually the book that Alice meant to recommend for me. She meant to recommend Ready Player One. This is not Ready Player One. So far it's okay. It's quite young. It's younger than I would normally read, but I've started it now, so I'll finish it. And finally, I'm reading Sophie Kinsella's Shopaholic and Baby. I love the Shopaholic books. I normally sit and I'm like, I don't really like girly books or something, and then somebody mentions these and I just turn into a bit of girly goo. I absolutely love Becky. She's hilarious, and she just gets herself into such ridiculous situations. But I'm like, actually, I can see how you got there. And that's all my books for this month. Are you coming back?
I'm coming back now.
Hi!
I'm sure we'll have more reads for you next month. You're
Well,
off
we
on
hope.
holiday.
I am off on holiday, so any videos that you see with me in it from this point on will be from the past.
Ooh. I'm going to try and see how far I get with the summer readathon, which starts on July 1st. Yeah, I will link our Goodreads accounts in the description box at the bottom if you want to keep track of what we're reading. And yeah, see you in July.
Bye!